Hello and welcome to NGB Business News. You already know what is going on. The greatest business commentary news channel on YouTube. Why? Because we like to break it down. We like to get down on the nitty gritty on this channel, and that's why a lot of people like it, and that's why I love putting this content out for you guys. Now we got some really good topics I'm looking at here today. You guys know we got to talk about Trump. Nah, he's not arrested. Don't worry. He's not arrested, guy. He's all good. He's all good. But you guys know there's been protests. There's been all types of things like that. I've been trying not to look too much into the news so I can catch it with you guys, but we're definitely going to have to take a look at that. Now, we also got Biden because Biden's trying to hide something from us, guys. Also, if you got your drinks, you know, crank them up. But Biden's trying to hide something from us, guys. So we're going to get into that. Basically, you know, he's using our money some more. Biden's been trying to spend up a lot of our money lately. You know what I'm saying? Biden's definitely been trying to spend up a lot of our money lately and giving a lot of it to Ukraine, which, you know, I don't have too much of a problem with. You know, shout out to the Ukrainians and everything like that. But Biden is spending. He is spending. He is spending like a housewife in Beverly Hills. I'll tell you that. Now we also have some good stuff so you guys can get your life together. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. Because I want you guys to be right out here. I want you to get your life together. So we have a 39-year-old, I believe. 39? Yes, 39-year-old who's making about 160K a month. Yes, $160,000 a month. And in this article, it includes 3 businesses that you can start with. How much money? $0, people. Businesses that you can start with $0. And you know the main reason every time you ask somebody, oh, I just want to start a business, but here's some that you can start with $0, so you really have no excuses, because we're not about excuses around here. And we're also going to take a look at Charles Schwab's CEO. He actually had a little bit to say about the SVB bank collapse, which you guys know has been major news, because with this bank collapse, everybody's wondering, if I was to try to pull out all my money in my bank, could I do that? So wealthy, rich people are scrambling. They are scrambling like eggs. You feel me? They are out here. They are running. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out where to put their money, which we actually talked about yesterday. And, you know, you can check out that video if you want to see where the rich are actually putting their money because they're scared to put it into the banks. But guys, like I said, cheers. I don't want to hold you up. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get into this first article. Now, first, we're going to take a look at Biden's DOJ is quietly trying to orchestrate taxpayer-funded bailout of Moderna, guys. And we have a video here that we're going to check out. So let's see here. Make this a little bit bigger for you guys. All right. So let's see what's going on with this whole, now, as you guys know, Moderna, I'm pretty sure it has to do with the vaccine. Obviously, I would assume that a company like Moderna would have only been formed to have been around during the virus with the hopes that the virus would, you know, subside. But with, you know, if there's a bailout of Moderna, that means it failed as a business or a medical company. I don't know. Maybe, you know, I mean, obviously Moderna is a pharmaceutical company, I'm assuming. And, you know, they have other pharmaceuticals, but, you know, maybe they put too much money into the whole COVID thing. And, you know, we outside now, like we outside. Nobody's stopping us. Nobody's stopping me from eating my 10-piece lemon pepper wing outside of the club, you know what I'm saying, posted up on the back of my homie's car. Like, no one's stopping me, you know, at this point with the ranch, of course, you know, maybe 5 hot, 5 lemon pepper. But yeah, let's see what it has to say. What's going on with this? Why hasn't Biden been talking about this? Probably because he's spending our money on it. Do we really want to be the ones to bail out, you know, Moderna and everything like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, all I'm saying is when broke people go broke, they go homeless. When rich people go broke, they get bailed out. Oh, this is going to be a good show today. Well, let's see what's going on.
You've just been hurt in a car wreck.
Of course, an ad.
Here are the 5 stages of your...
Sorry, sir. You need to leave.
Get vaccinated or get expelled. That's the message from the state official to a Connecticut church, a church school, for refusing vaccine mandates on students. The Milford Christian Church School says a state law was altered in 2021 to remove all vaccine exemptions except the medical ones.
Oh, this may not
and
be
now
about
the
the
church
actual. This isn't about the mandate. Nah, we're trying to hear about what's going on with this whole Biden administration. No, we're not going for that. Let's see. Now it says the Biden administration quietly inserted itself into a private patent infringement lawsuit two biotech companies filed against the C-19 vaccine maker Moderna in a move experts said could establish a dangerous precedent. Okay. The government getting involved into companies, per usual, you know. Now it says in a surprising filing last month, U.S. Attorney David Weiss issued a statement of interest in the case on behalf of the Department of Defense and Department of Health and Human Services, invoking a rarely used early 1900s law to argue that the federal government should take on any liability for patent infringement Moderna may be guilty of related to its development of the vaccine. So correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but it sounds to me like they're basically saying because this was, a certain circumstance, abnormal circumstance, with C-19 being around and everything like that, the government should basically take on the liability or anything that Moderna may be dealing with as far as patent infringement. Now, I wonder by patent infringement, does it mean somebody else had, a patent kind of on that, vaccine? And then, Moderna kind of copied some of that? I would assume it would make sense that during this time where we were looking for a vaccine for this, it would make sense that there would be, kind of a loose leaf definition of trademark on that because, you want all your best scientists, all your best companies to be trying to build a vaccine as fast as possible. So if that is the case, I could definitely see why the government would be connected with that. If that's, what this seems to be exactly saying. Please correct me if I'm wrong, guys, and if this is saying something, different. Now it says, we as here, the government directly contacts to procure the allegedly infringing goods or services in a contract that grants authorization and consent to the benefit to the government is inherent. Indeed, the contractor's compliance with the contract's obligations alone demonstrate the benefit that the government obtains goods and services for which it pays. Dang, they kind of going in. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, they're kind of going in. The filing concluded that companies whose patents Moderna may have infringed during the C-19 vaccine development should be limited to pursuing a claim against the federal government and the U.S. Court of Federal Claims. Okay. So basically, you're basically saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? Moderna had to do this because of the government, so the government should be held liable. Now it says Moderna, which received about $10 billion in taxpayer money. That's big, guys. That's big. Government money, taxpayer money. To produce its vaccine has since earned billions in profits selling it. Oh, wow. Interesting. Was sued in early 2022 by Genevant Sciences and Arbitrus Biopharma Corp., which accused Moderna of using technology they have patented in its vaccine. So is that supposed to be a bad thing? Dang, it seemed, it's cutthroat out here. In business, it's cutthroat. It's like you guys used our stuff. You made billions of dollars off it. We had it patented, you know what I'm saying? And everything like that. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, does this really make a lot of sense? Give me 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that, guys. All right, I think I fixed it. Sorry. All right, cool. All right, so it says Weiss then stepped in to support Moderna a year after it argued in court in May 22, filing that any damages should be paid by the federal government since it contracted the vaccine from the company amid a global health emergency. Basically saying it was an emergency. The government had to confine in Moderna for this. So if Moderna gets, basically, it's kind of like, in a way, Moderna saying, hey, well, if we're going to get hit because we did this, but we did this for the government should kind of bail us out, which, I mean, does kind of make a lot of sense. I'm not sure about the numbers because the numbers will obviously play a large part in this, but, you know, I'm not necessarily sure. Now it says the two companies have asked for federal court in Delaware to award them damages for the infringement. Weiss then stepped in to support Moderna a year after it argued in court in a May 2022, filing that any damages should be paid by the federal government since it contracted the vaccine. Oh, okay. Sorry, I already read that. Let's see here. Now it says, what interested me was the fact of the government's very strange procedural. I call it a gimmick. Susan Brandon, a former chief judge of the U.S. Court of Federal Claims, told Fox News Digital in an interview, I'm a former federal judge. People generally don't generally just pop up in the middle of a lawsuit unless they want to move to intervene or they have something at stake in a case that would make them a party, which does make sense. I mean, the point that the U.S. government is choosing to insert themselves in this as opposed to being, you know, called by the courts to be a part of this case or, you know, dealing with possible a lawsuit from Moderna after their initial lawsuit, you know, basically saying, hey, guys, you guys should pay this off, you know, because we had to deal with this. Then, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, this is kind of going to be an L on, you know, the Biden administration right now. For this, like, I mean, yeah, I can definitely see why Moderna would hold them liable for this and everything like that. Now, it says she noted that the Department of Justice has attempted to argue that a government use patents statute provides the legal basis for taking on patent infringement liability. The statute has generally been invoked by the government in cases related to its purchase of military equipment, and in one case was used to stockpile an antidote for anthrax, chemical weapon, in 2001. So I think we kind of understand what's going on here pretty much. I think we kind of understand. So I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about the whole thing? Do you guys think the government is liable for this? Do you guys think Moderna as a company, okay, they were contracted, they made their money, even they made their money and they should use their money to pay off whatever liabilities, and just because they were contracted, you know, they're not at fault. It's kind of like a contracted worker, you know. If you contract, let's say, a worker to dig a hole in your backyard and he breaks his shovel, you're not actually liable for his shovel that broke. You know what I'm saying? He's liable for that. But if he was working for you and he broke his shovel, then obviously you would be liable for that and everything like that. So I want to know what you guys think about that. Definitely throw a like, comment, subscribe, and all of that if you like this type of content. We're going to get into the next video pretty soon, which is about to be on Charles Schwab, CEO. Basically, he's got a lot to say about SVB bank collapse. And I want to kind of hear what he would have to say about it and what he thinks about it from a more, you know, financial standpoint, because we know, come on now, Charles Schwab, this is the best of the best. Be right back. Okay, so it looks like our boy, the CEO of Charles Schwab, has a lot to say about the SVB bank collapse. And as you guys know, this is huge news, especially if you're a wealthy person, because you're kind of concerned if you can't take your money out of the bank, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much with SVB collapsing and people going to the bank, trying to pull their money out, not being able to do it, people who have a similar bank account are kind of like, wait, hold on. Is my bank like this? Like, if I want to pull out my 1.5 million, am I not going to have that ability? So, you know, it's pretty interesting, and it'd be pretty interesting to see what a CEO of, you know, what I'm saying, somebody who works with these type of people, these type of wealthy people every day, what he would really have to think about it. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with this.
If your child has diabetes, you'll love how easy Dexcom G7 is. It's on, and he's off. You can see his glucose numbers right on your phone, so you can always be there for him with Dexcom G7.
Thank you, Kelly and Walt. Thank you for joining me. I know you don't speak out very often, but we're going through some pretty extraordinary times in your world right now. Thank you.
Yes, and thanks for the invitation. I actually learned last night about 10 p.m. that your network had emailed a staffer in our organization about me coming on yesterday. And unfortunately, as I mentioned, I didn't realize that till last evening. Of course, I've been on many, many times with you before. And so I just want to apologize for that. If I would have known, I likely would have been on. But
wow. Somebody messing up at Charles Schwab?
You have to address what's happened with your stock first and foremost.
And Nancy, the secretary, messed up
for contagion after a collapse of a bank in Silicon Valley that did a lot of lending to venture capital firms. But that's what's happened. Your stock is down almost 30% over the past week, including today's bounce. Why?
Well, I think there's been a degree of confusion on two sides of our firm. The first one is the difference between a brokerage operation and a banking operation. I see people speaking about.
Let me say something. I think that's a great point that he's trying to make. I think the reason why Charles Schwab is taking such a hit is because people are, like he said, forgetting the difference between a hedge fund and a bank. Realistically, it's the banks that are being hit, and it's not even all banks. It's more so of those banks that wealthy investors would really want to mess with, like SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, crypto banks, you know, things like that are really getting hit by this. But what happens is it's almost like collateral damage. It's like banks and financial institutions that really don't have anything to do with this are still getting hit because people are wondering, like, oh, like let's say me, for instance, I have Bank of America. You know what I'm saying? Bank of America is more of a commercial, you know, like bank of the people. You know, the regular person will have a Bank of America account. Not many regular people will have an account at some place like SVB. You know, so SVB gets hit, you know, and it deals with a completely different type of circumstance than Bank of America would. And Bank of America is actually very shielded from dealing with the same type of circumstances that SVB is. But let's say a person like me, I see on the news, oh, wow, there was a bank collapse. A person couldn't get their money. Now I'm going to go to Bank of America and try to get mine. or I have less trust in my Bank of America or my, let's say in his case, Charles Schwab or my TD Ameritrade account that I have because of this, and that's why it's getting hit so hard. Just straight collateral damage.
About FDIC, and they have a fairly good understanding of that when you deposit at a bank, the bank takes those deposits and invests them. They are part of the bank balance sheet, and then the FDIC provides insurance up to $250,000. At least that's the way it's been since, I believe, 2008. Brokerage assets are completely different. So we have about $7.4 trillion that clients have entrusted us with at Schwab. And over $7 trillion of that sits on the brokerage side. Brokerage assets are held separate. They are segregated from Schwab assets. This is done under what's called the SEC Consumer Protection Rule. And so those assets are not commingled with us. I even have heard some pundits talk about SIPC and tried to compare it relative to FDIC. And of course, there's no comparison. These are segregated assets, and SIPC kicks in largely only in a situation of fraud. Of course, the SEC requires us to report on the segregation, and we do so regularly, and they audit it. So I think that's the first bit of confusion that went on. People began to conflate SIPC and FDIC and didn't really understand the segregation of client securities from the rest of Schwab.
But you do have deposits, right? I mean, you do have a pretty robust bank business inside of the company.
We do.
And that, I think, is where the concerns are.
We do, and that's the second one that I want to try to address. Our bank is very conservatively managed. If you look at the holdings of the bank, we have about 10% of.
See, there's a problem. There's the thing, though. You notice she made sure that he was like, he was like, please don't ask about this. Please don't ask us about our bank and everything like that. And now he has to say it's very, very conservatively managed. So that money that he was talking about earlier, how the banks take your money and invest it, and if they lose it, you're only liable to really get $250,000 back. His bank is essentially a bank. It does the same thing, which is why his stock price took such a hit and why he probably was hoping that she wouldn't have spoken on that. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. But she should, and it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say. But right now, as Coach Greg would say, he's shuffling. He's like, oh, well, yeah, but see, like, our bank not like those other banks because our bank is real conservative with our trading and, and everything like that. No, there's no way we would ever lose your money because we're more conservative about how we trade and invest your money than those other guys. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let him get to it.
Of client deposits outstanding.
I'm gonna let him eat. I'm going to let them eat.
Collateralized almost exclusively to our clients, very, very low risk. And then we have about 80% in U.S. government-backed paper. Within that, effectively you're operating with virtually no credit risk. From a liquidity standpoint, we have access to very substantial liquidity. Arguably, we have a level of liquidity.
That's what people want to know about the liquidity. Can I get my money back?
Our entire bank sweep deposits, around $280 billion. So I understand that there were banks that got into trouble. We have a reasonable understanding as to how they did so. But those applications, we don't believe, apply at Schwab at all. We do understand, though, that when our stock price went down at a rate that was in some manners consistent with some of the regionals, that people easily put us up on slides and talked about us in a manner consistent with some of the regional banks. Completely different model, completely different. You mentioned earlier that 80% plus of our deposits in FDIC insured balances.
Are insured.
Banks that have run into trouble are at fractions of that number.
But as you say, you've been swept in. Have you seen any deposit outflows? What are you seeing from customers?
No, actually what we're seeing is asset inflows to the firm in significant numbers. So in February, our clients brought in almost $42 billion in net.
Now, he's talking about asset inflows, probably not recently, but as you guys know, that's pretty much, from what I've seen, that's pretty much, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, that's what I see as like people putting their trust in the bank, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. Like when the FTA, yes, technically the FTX, but when the SVB stuff happened and everything like that, people wanted to pull their money out of banks, and it was all about, does the bank have the money to give? Like, is it out in stocks? Is it being traded? Like, or do you have the actual FDC, stockpile, or outside of the FDC, the stockpile, to give people their money back? So that's pretty much what he's saying. But the thing is she's asking him about right now, what we're dealing with right now after this bank collapse. And he's talking about, hey, well, this year we've had an influx of customers coming and bringing more money into the bank, which shows trust in the bank and everything. But the reason why, this is such a concern in the first place is because recently a bank collapsed. So a lot of people are taking out money right now. So we're kind of curious as to, of course you were getting a lot of people bringing in money throughout the year, just as they do every year. But what's going on for you guys right now in this collapse? How are you guys handling this? What's going on with this? Like, don't panic,
Assets to us. March to date, they've averaged about $2 billion a day. Interestingly enough, last Friday, when we were maybe at the heart of the peak maybe of some of these challenges before the actions taken by the Federal Reserve around liquidity, our clients actually brought about $4 billion into the firm that day alone. Another interesting factoid, the number one stock that our clients bought on Friday, was Schwab stock.
Schwab.
Power E-Trade gives you an award-winning mobile app with
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, let me know, guys. I want to know what you guys think about that. I think he did a pretty good job in that interview and everything. He had to shuffle a little bit, you know what I'm saying? He had to shuffle a little bit, especially when she started asking him about the banking part of his company, which of course she was going to ask him as a hedge fund. But you guys got to know, obviously, Charles Schwab is not a bank. They are really essentially, a hedge fund, So it's definitely a big difference from SVB, but we're seeing even they are dealing with the fallout. I don't know what Amy, the secretary, was on, because I would assume that if he's trying to prevent bleeding in his stock price, he probably should have addressed CNBC yesterday. That's why he apologized. So I thought that part was kind of funny and everything, but this is definitely a good second topic that we have for here today and everything like that. I want to know what you guys think about it. I want to know, do you guys think that possibly, it could be shady and Charles Schwab is just like any other bank, and they could end up in an SVB type of situation should enough people decide that, hey, I want to pull my money, or some bad news comes out or something like that. You never know what could happen. Or you guys kind of on the other side and everything like that, and you're like, no, this is completely separate. This is a hedge fund. SVB was a bank. Most of the banks that are affected are more of the wealthy elite type of banks, and Charles Schwab really shouldn't have to worry about it. They just gonna have to take that stock price hit, and everything like that. So guys, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, everything like that. And we're going to get into our next topic. Let me check something real quick. Okay, I'll be right back for our next topic. Next topic, we're gonna go into this 39-year-old who literally makes $160,000 in a year, which is pretty crazy. I mean, not even in a year, $160,000 a month, people, And the great thing about this is this article also includes, how you can pretty much three ways that you can start a business for the free. And like I said, you guys know, guys, that's one of the main, that is pretty much the main, if not only reason that people complain about not being able to start a business. I just don't have enough money. They say either I don't have enough money or I don't have enough time. Well, we're taking the money part possibly off the table. I'll be right back. Let's grab some gummies real quick. I'm kind of busting. I apologize. Alright, so guys, for the next video, we have a 39-year-old who makes $160,000 a month. $160K a month. Great. And he's pretty much, they also have 3 businesses that you can start for, guess how much money, guys? For free. And you guys already know whenever you talk to people, you know, the first thing that they say is, man, if I just had the money, then I would start this. If I just had the time, I'll start this. We may not be able to give you the time, but we can possibly give you the money because the money is free. So this should be very interesting. I think this could help out a lot of people. I'm very interested to see what they come up with this as well. So, you know, let's go ahead and get into the article. Of course, it says this 39-year-old makes $160 a month in passive income. Oh, wow. I didn't even know it was passive. Oh, it's passive? Wow. 3 businesses you can start today for $0. Let's see what he says. And he says, I just work 5 hours a week. It's always the ads, guys. It's always the ads.
I never thought I would make much money, honestly, because I just wanted to be a musician. And I think what I wanted most was to do something I loved for a living. I never wanted to have a job I hated, and I was always a creative.
My name is Graham Cochran. I'm 39 years old. I make about $1.6 million a year. I work about 5 hours a week.
This guy a
and I live
YouTuber?
in Tampa, Florida.
How do you do it?
I'm a business coach. I run an online business where I teach people how to make money off of their passions, turn their knowledge into income, sell online courses, maybe build a following around a YouTube channel or a podcast or a blog, and then eventually...
Dang, this guy's like Graham Stephan. Love Graham over here. Maybe not recently. You know, he's been, I feel like, dealing with a lot of legal troubles because of the whole FTX thing. But dang, I was thinking, I didn't know like what this was, but now I know he's one of these. You know, we love talking about business and finance and the stock market, what's going on over here. You guys know, I'll let you guys know what I'm trading, everything like that, how I make my money on the stock market and everything like that. But I feel like there's so many of these, like, you know what I'm saying? We just like to talk about the news over here and just try to learn and be as informed as possible. But hey, you know, I mean, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going on with him. Is he a guru or is he the real? Or is it the real ones are the gurus? I don't know. It's just, you know, like you say Forex guru and, you know, people in their head are off the rip thinking goofy.
Sell their knowledge in online courses and memberships or one-on-one and coaching packages. Welcome to episode 167 of The Graham Cochran Show, where I'm here to help you build your online business. a friend of mine who was older, wiser, and he said, man, you don't have any real family time. You got to take at least one day off with your family. So from day one, when I got serious, I just committed to, okay, I'm going to figure this out in Monday through Thursday. I decided in 2018 to launch my personal brand, GrahamCochran.com.
Those YouTube
teaching
thumbnails is
everything I
hitting.
know about online business. And as that's become successful, we built this house here on the river, and it's just
Nice
been a dream
house.
to be able to have the
Oh,
home
wow.
the way we want, the space,
Very
and
nice
have the
house.
privacy the way we want, be on the water.
I can see that backyard. Dang.
The
Dang.
front of the house, we love having a front formal living
Got
room.
the stream
that
and everything.
rarely
They got
gets
the
used.
lake going. Like,
You know, we
I'll
love-
be up
we have
in there
people over
getting
sometimes, people
lady.
spread out, so it's a really nice, beautiful, quiet spot. Piano, it's the one instrument I don't really play very well, but my daughters play a little bit.
Fun fact, I
Guest
can play the
room
piano.
for guests, obviously, and then really the whole house is all about back here, just having a really cohesive living space, right? We love tall ceilings, so the 20-foot ceilings, and then the view, which is what it's all about, being on the river. And we put in these custom iron arch doors, which are so fun. These are kind of a splurge.
Those are
to
nice.
have
They
something
bring in a
unique
lot
and
of light.
custom.
You gotta love it.
So the kitchen,
You
is
gotta
all my
love
wife.
it.
She wanted it to be really open. We decided to go more open shelf concept, which was different, but it was just great. Everything's accessible, and we just wanted a big island and keep it as clean as possible. My wife is trying to take over with plants. She
Your
wants
house
it to
has
be
a lot of white.
jungle room. This is a great room for the kids to do crafts, all the stuff
I like
that's
it.
fun that leaves a mess. They
You know
can
what I'm
take
saying?
over
But
this
when you be
table
spilling
and not
stuff,
take
but
over
I guess
the
you can wipe
kitchen
it off. It looks
table.
like the type of material
So
you can
dining
kind of
room
easily
where
wipe
meals
up.
take place, obviously, but it's also like morning time. So I'll sit in the morning, first thing by myself, reading my Bible, praying, coffee, waking up. In the summers, it's great. We have time with the kiddos. This is no school. We can all sit around the table. We try to go through a devotional together. Read
You
through
got
the
a
Bible,
flat
and
back
teach my
Kaylee.
kids how to read the Bible themselves. So books are a huge part of my life. That's how I've grown.
I'm
and
sorry.
learned.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Got my very own book. Finally published my first book, How to Get Paid for What You Know. Everywhere we go in the house and in the office, I have bookshelves and books. And one of my only requests for the house was to put the master bedroom at the back of the house so we could have a balcony and a view of the river. So we kind of built the
Not
house
a bad
around that.
idea at all. Wow, look at him. You know, it's really nice, you know, when you can wake up out of the bedroom and just like go out into a back balcony. You know, I feel like there's a different vibe. If you gotta like go out into your house, it's like your sanctuary. Like, you know, your room is like your sanctuary. Like you wake up, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You still might be in your boxers, like, and you're just like, oh man, like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a difference. It's kind of nice, you know, having it. He's got a nice house. He's got a nice house.
My parents
Let me
were
know if you guys have heard of
military
this guy
early
before,
on,
you
but
know,
we
'cause
settled
he's
in Virginia,
clearly a YouTuber,
and
so.
I fell in love with music as a kid. Singing, playing trumpet, eventually played guitar, then just became a music head. Played in middle school bands, high school rock bands. That's what got me into audio engineering and recording music.
Media arts and music.
So I met my wife my sophomore year of college. We dated for 3 years all through college and got married right out of college.
Okay, it's like the perfect family, guys. So you're a nuclear family for sure.
It was a really hard year, so I actually lost a job in 2009 before we moved, and then it was really hard to find a job in Tampa during the Great Recession. I think I applied for 50 jobs, finally got one in the debt settlement industry. That's when we bought our first house.
Bro's shirt
My
collar
first
kinda
daughter was
messed up. I don't
born,
know if y'all
and
see
then
that.
4 or 5
Y'all see
months
that?
into working that job, that company ran out
shirt
of
collar
money
is
and they had to
kinda
let me go.
dealing
I had
with
like an
something right
emergency
there, though.
fund
That's
that we
fine,
lived
that's
off for a
fine.
while, but eventually we burned through
I'm just
that.
saying. I'm just saying.
The first couple of years that I was doing this were pretty bleak. At that time, we literally had no income. I had family and friends sending me checks and
This is a
trying
good
to help us
YouTuber
out.
story.
We applied for food stamps. It was
This is
a very
inspiring
humbling
for me.
experience.
Like,
so
I need
I would
this.
say for almost 2 years, it was me trying to get work, and I got a little bit of work. I think I made $7,000 in my first year. It wasn't very much.
That's not bad at all.
There were two moments where light bulbs went off. One was when I sold my first online course.
Hey everybody, it's Graham over GrahamCochran.com.
Which functionally I was teaching things on YouTube for free, and then I thought, could I sell what I'm teaching? And that was probably 18 months before the second moment, which was the back half of my second year of business. I launched 2 more products that became best sellers for me.
And that's what I've got.
Oh yeah, guys, I used to produce music. Man, the money that you can make from that kind of stuff,
almost $60,000, and I realized
insane. You'll be surprised.
I used to make $30,000 a year working full time in corporate America. Same with my wife. So I was replacing both of our $30,000 a year salaries from a website, talking about what I love to do, which was music and music recording, all from home. And that's when we didn't qualify for food stamps anymore. And I knew my life was going to be different from then on out.
He elevated and stepped his game
trying
up.
to figure out how to build a business, and at the time, my weekends were taken up with this church that we were starting. So I never got a day off. A friend of mine who was older, wiser, and he said, man, you don't have any real family time. You got to take at least one day off with your family. So from day one, when I got serious, I just committed to, okay, I'm gonna figure this out in Monday through Thursday. So 32 hours a week.
Nah, spend that family
8-hour
time
days.
for sure.
So that became the most I ever worked in my business when I started. And then every year, I'm kind of a weirdo. I try to like play this game and figure out, could I make the same amount of money I made last year, or grow it, that'd be even better, but work fewer hours. And so it's been income go up, work hours go down.
You know, that's what we all want, you know, and everything. That's why I love the stock market and I love trading on the stock market. Because, I mean, it's great to make money and everything like that. But if you really do miss out on the important things, it's like, what is it really for? You know what I'm saying? He's got 2 daughters. Like, I mean, he could probably make a lot more money grinding it out, you know, and everything like that. But it gets to a certain point where it's like you get enough money to where you can get pretty much whatever you want. And you're like, dang, my daughter's 16 now and I don't even know her. You know what I mean? So you never really want that to be happening to you. But at the same time, too, it's like, man, you got to get in your grind, though. You know what I'm saying? Over here is NGB Business News. We got to grind outside of the family. Everybody else is getting stepped on. We grinded. All right. I'm sorry, yo. I'm not sorry, yo. But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, definitely, like, you want to make time for the family. And you want to make sure that if you're going to make the money, make the money so you can enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Make the money. The financial freedom that you get from making money is supposed to bring you happiness. It's supposed to bring you joy. It's supposed to give you the option to bring joy to others. You know, that's really what it's for. So if you completely forget that part and you're too much into the money, then at that point, you're just kind of like a money robot with no emotions, you know? And we got enough AI robots running around here. We don't need humans to start becoming AI robots, you know what I'm saying?
And it's been that way ever since. I remember I was at a beach vacation with my family, just a 3 or 4 day getaway at the panhandle of Florida. And I remember my wife looking at me with my laptop while we're at the beach, and she said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "You can't even get away for 3 or 4 days that you have to check your email." And I remember feeling, what am I doing? And that was when I realized I needed somebody to be in my inbox for me to take care of those types of requests that need a response right away. Most of what allows me to work so few hours is a combination of systems and eliminating a lot of stuff that just isn't really necessary. And I learned that all the activity on social media I was doing, being in email all day long, keeping my email like tab open and responding to emails as they came in, working on all kinds of projects without really looking at what of my products really make up the bulk of my money. I use the 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle, all the time as a framework of looking at what I'm doing and eliminating as much as I possibly can. I'm not really working faster as much as I'm just doing less in my business, and I'm only doing the things that I have found actually drive revenue in my business. I eventually brought on a customer service person to take care of some of those emails in my inbox. And then I eventually hired someone to help me with the boring, like uploading my videos to YouTube and making thumbnails or editing some videos if I need to be edited.
Thinking about launching.
That can be that can be a grind.
I've been making videos for 13 years, so I usually know what I want to say, very few stops and starts, and I can get it done pretty quickly. And then I'll wrap up the morning with checking email, and then I have a paid community of people that I jump in, I answer questions, and I touch base with those people and see what they need help with. And then I'm usually done by lunch. I'd love to move into more public speaking. Going back to my music roots, I love being on stage. What I'm going to be working towards is just getting on more stages, getting in front of people, and trying to share this message of how to monetize what you know and turn it into a flexible, automated business that gives you freedom. I would say money is a great servant, but a horrible master.
The business of teaching people business.
Over where their money goes and what they do with their money.
YouTube's a funny place for that.
Credit for. It's not worth being scared of or living your
life. The
main
main people are the ones who
by
teach
what money you
something.
have
But I mean, it makes sense, you know? It makes sense. A lot of times they have good information too. A lot of people be sleep on it. So that was pretty good. That was pretty interesting and everything like that. Shout out to him. Does it say his name? Yeah. You can catch him at here if you're trying to see this. Graham Cochran. I'm surprised I haven't heard of him. It's funny his name's Graham, like Graham Stephan. He's basically they kind of the same. So here's businesses that you can start for $0. It says, is there something your friends always ask you for help on? One of my clients teaches people how to fix motorcycles at home. Another makes recordings of English word pronunciations for native Japanese speakers. Wow, that's actually very niche. Like, that's almost as niche as it gets, you know? The key is to reach out to your existing network. I'm offering one-on-one coaching slots for people who struggle with this and want to achieve this. That's a good way they write it out, yeah. Then set aside a time to meet with clients via phone or video call, discuss their pain points, and coach them on how to move forward. Over time, you'll develop a curriculum based on the problems you see most often. Grow your customer base by asking clients for referrals, post customer testimonies on social media or your website. Yeah, guys. I mean, I think that's great, and I honestly think that could be great for people because it doesn't matter what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? If you normally do people's hair, you could start consulting on teaching people how to do people's hair. You know what I'm saying? If you're good at making videos, then you could start showing people how to edit videos or how to go about making a video, you know, and everything like that. You know, pretty much like basically using your talent, finding a way to utilize the talent you have. It could even be something like piano. You know how to play the piano, but you know, you can monetize that. If you know how to play well enough, then you can start showing people how to read music, showing people how to play the piano, and they'll pay out big bucks because you have an expertise in that. It's actually very interesting. This is actually, I think, a great first one because it's something that everyone that has, as long as you have a talent in one one skill, then this can apply to you. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that you know that's worth anything that no one else wants to learn. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Now, guys, another one is professional service. What exactly does it mean by that? Now it says whether it's graphic design or video editing, plenty of websites make it easy to promote your professional services. On Fiverr or Upwork, for example, you can create a profile, list your services, and get discovered. Something like Fiverr. To stand out, be very specific in what you offer. For example, a long-form YouTube essay video editor might have less competition than a general video editor. That's true. Write a customized proposal for each job posting. Don't say to whom it may concern or write like you're applying to a traditional job. Explain how your skills and experiences can help solve problems, because in the end, that's really all people want. And this is a good one too. If you have some type of job, like for instance, playing the piano, who needs a piano player? You're good at writing, who needs a writer? You know what I'm saying? And you go on somewhere like Fiverr, somebody can hire you up real quick. Eventually you start building a repertoire. You know what I'm saying? With the people on there, you get a 5-star rating or a 10-star rating. It's probably a 5-star rating. You know what I mean? And then more people come to you. You can start charging a higher price. Boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, you're on and popping. You feel me? Before you know it, you're on and popping. Now it says, ask questions about the project at the end of your proposal. This is interesting. This shows you're already thinking ahead and gives the other person a clear reason to follow up. More dialogue means more opportunities to win them over and land the job. I think that's really good. Yeah, you know, if you end every job good, you'll always have work, I believe. You know what I'm saying? If people come and they're like, I mean, his service was okay, then they might go out and look for other people. And you best believe if they like, man, I feel like this was overpriced or it was good, but I don't know if it was really worth it. They're going to be looking for other people and you're not going to get that business back. But if you can make every customer happy and want to go back to you, then before you know it, you'll have tons of customers. Now, it says email former clients, employers, and friends to tell them what services you provide and that you'd like to offer them friends and family discount. Here's a script right here. It says, if you haven't already heard, I've started a new business offering this service to this. You came to mind as someone I'd love to work with. If you're looking for this, I'd love to jump on a call and hear what you're trying to accomplish in the next year. Hopefully I can help you. I think this could be good too. It's basically what this is telling you is, guys, skills that you may already have. And I think that's why this is actually a very I would say good article, is because it's not saying you need to go get this skill. It's not saying you need to go get this. It's like, if there's something that you have that is a powerful thing that's unique to you, then here's how you can possibly utilize it or monetize it. Now, next is the creator business. As a creator, there are 4 main ways to make money: advertisement revenue, affiliate post revenue, sponsor posts and brand deals, selling digital materials to your audience. Now, this is what I need to get in. Maybe, shoot, I might need to cut the camera off and watch this and read this myself, take some notes. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking with y'all. But yeah, it says create content about a niche topic you know a lot about. You can post on accounts you already have leverage in your existing network. Don't worry about getting all your ducks in a row. The key is just to begin and post every day. Being consistent is huge on whatever type of social media you're doing. Really doesn't matter what you're doing. It's huge to do that. Now it says YouTube is my favorite platform to start with because it has an advanced search function that makes content more discoverable. You don't need hundreds of thousands of followers. One of my clients who teaches pastors how to preach better sermons has 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, but earns $150,000 a year. And I made a deal with one of my biggest affiliate partners back when I only had a few thousand followers. And this is about joining the YouTube partner program, which, you know, I would love to join. So like, comment, and subscribe. You need 1,000 subscribers for that, 4,000 watch hours in 12 months, or 10 million YouTube shorts, that's a lot of YouTube shorts views. Now it says it's tempting to copy someone else's style, but you'll stand out more by incorporating your own twist. People gravitate towards unique personalities. Ding! So let yours shine, it says. Yeah. And I think this was a really good video, guys. Not only did we get to see a little bit of, you know, a guy who pretty much did this formula himself and is making amazing amounts of money, you know what I'm saying, $160K a month. You know, I know we would all love to watch that. I know you watching this would love to watch that. And if you already are, then shout out to you for real. $160K a month. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about that. I also think there was a lot of good points that they made in here, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. With the first, you could start a consulting business where you kind of basically essentially teach other people how to, you know, like, you're basically coaching people. Essentially, you're being a coach with whatever skill that you may have. There's professional service where you take whatever skill you may have. Think about those weird little skills, those things that you're good at that normally you don't really monetize, but they could actually be monetized. Making music, playing the piano, you know, hobbies that you possibly used to have back in the day, but they could have some worth to somebody. Like, let's say you like to draw. Somebody may need something. You never know. So you go on Fiverr, you check it out. You might get some business, you know what I'm saying? Also, and then third, creator business. Like I said, making a YouTube channel, a Twitch, something like that, and speaking to the people about what you know, what your expertise is, and everything like that. Even if you're a good talker, a lot of times you can do well. If you're a good speaker, you know, you can do well. You know what I'm saying? Just getting on the camera and speaking. Think about how many people on Twitch, they don't play video games, they don't do anything. They literally get there, they relax, and because they're just such a good people's person, people resonate with them. So guys, I want to know what you guys think about this for sure. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you that's in here. And I would say have a blessed day, but we still got one more topic for today, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Trump, DeSantis, defending him. And you guys know he is not in jail, but there are a lot of new updates. So we definitely want to go ahead and take a look into those. All right, guys, let's get into the main event tonight. Donald Trump, who is probably living it up. You know, he's eating a good dinner right now. Why? Because he is not in jail. And it's Tuesday. The clock is ticking, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a watch, you know what I'm saying? But the clock is ticking, you know? He said he was going to be in jail. He's not in jail. I could definitely see why they wouldn't throw him in jail, because them protests was already about to get started, I believe. But I don't know. We're about to see some updates possibly on what was going on today with the case. We have a video here of DeSantis pretty much defending Trump. If you guys don't know, he's Florida's governor. And pretty much if Trump doesn't run, or even if he does run, DeSantis will be pretty much the second runner-up to Trump, just so you guys know. So let's get into a few of these updates and everything like that. And then we'll kind of see what DeSantis had to say. So we'll start about 5 hours ago. Let's see what's going on like that. Now it says DA charges may not help Trump's campaign, but they could unify Republicans. It's interesting. We've got a nice Republican right here. You already, you know, I could just tell. I'm playing. Now, obviously he's a Republican. You know what I'm saying? You guys know I'm not even a Republican or a Democrat. I'm really more of a conservative. But I lean more Republican. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a Republican. But I definitely lean way more there. So, you know, I'm on the Republican side. That doesn't mean I'm a fan of Trump. But, you know, if I have to choose Trump over Sleepy Joe, I'll probably roll the dice on Trump, honestly. Our economy's got to survive, you know. Now, it says the possible indictment of Trump by the Manhattan District Attorney may not directly boost the Republican former president's White House bid, but it could unite GOP voters in outrage, a Republican strategist told CNBC. Now, it said, while it's unknown which specific charges are being considered by the Manhattan grand jury, yeah, I would like to see exactly what these charges are. I know it has to do, obviously, with this Peace Star being paid off $130,000 by Donald Trump's possible team, possibly the Republican Party or his candidate, his party for his candidacy and everything like that. But like I said, like I'm not sure exactly what the official charges or anything are of this. Now it says, yeah, built on a charge of falsification of business records related to a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. To Republicans who see that as merely a misreported campaign contribution from nearly 7 years ago, it looks like nothing more than a partisan hack job. Republicans are going to be enraged if Trump, like Lil Pump, is indicted on these grounds, he said. This is going to offend even Trump's biggest critics in the Republican Party. I think he's basically saying at this point, it seems like he's saying like, hey guys, even people who don't like Trump, but they do like the Republican Party, this has them even more on Trump's side because he's saying they're like, hey, these are ridiculous charges. Why are you pulling these out right now? Like, what's going on? Everything like that. Oh, wow, those Democrats, you know what I'm saying? Those pesky Democrats, you know, and kind of and in their outrage, you know, enemies can still become friends. You know what I'm saying? What is it? The friend of my enemy. What is it? The enemy of the enemy of my The enemy of my enemy is my friend. There we go. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Kind of one of those things. Now, they said, I don't think it makes him more likely to be the nominee, but it adds ammunition to his case that the Democrats are willing to break any norm to try to undo the 2016 election. Oh, so you're going back to the 2016 election. I was thinking he was thinking more to the future, like the future presidency as Trump is running in 2024. I don't think the Democrats or Democrats are so worried about the 2016 election. That was literally 8 years ago. But to each his own. Maybe there are some Democrats out there that are just like, 2016. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel that. If anything, I feel like Republicans would be like, well, I'm tired of Democrats being on this. And then, you know what I'm saying, possibly side with Trump, even though they wouldn't have wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. And we all know, like, what's up with this whole case, though? You know what I'm saying? And everything like this. Like, is Trump guilty? Is he not? Like, there's the whole, you know what I'm saying, he grabbing booty in the store. There's that case as well, where I'm like, hey, like, Trump kind of seeming like a menace out here. I can't lie. Like, Trump kind of seeming like a menace. Like, so you still got to be held accountable. It's not like we can't not hold this man accountable if he did these things. Of course, allegedly. I'm just saying. You can't be like, well, you know what I'm saying, he's the president. He's running in the future. Like, so none of this happened. Like, that's not how it works. Now it says Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's ties to billionaire George Soros aren't as close as the Republicans claim. It says, as Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg inches closer to bringing a possible indictment against Trump, Republicans have launched a barrage of attacks against the Democratic District Attorney and his ties to Democratic donor George Soros. Republican Elise y'all know I like to try to say the word, so I'm going to try to say it. Stefanik, I like that. Yeah, Stefanik, a New York Republican and the party's fourth-ranking leader in the House, tweeted Monday that Bragg took $1 million from George Soros. Now, Senator J.D. Vance, an Ohio Republican whose 2022 campaign received millions of dollars in support from GOP mega donor and investor Peter Thiel, said in a tweet that Alvin Bragg is bought by George Soros, a very high level of I'm trying to think of the word. You guys know the word, though, where basically you give money to politicians and then companies give money to, wow, it like popped in my head and popped out. But you guys know where companies give a lot of money to, you know, politicians to get them to push policies in certain ways that will be advantageous to said business. We know a lot of that, for instance, in the firearms business. They do that all the time. What is it? The NRA? Yeah, the National Rifle Association is constantly feeding Republicans with money and, you know what I'm saying, people who would be likely to vote in the way that they would want. They're feeding them with money every year, and they have year after year after year, and that kind of helps them push policy. you know? Now it says, but the reality of Bragg's links to Soros don't entirely match the picture painted by Republican lawmakers, who are trying to draw a link between the men to discredit the probe, according to records and people familiar with both men. A Soros advisor who declined to be named to speak openly about private matters has never met or spoken to Bragg. I mean, that's an advisor. Like, oh, he said the billionaire. Oh, okay, I was about to say, I was like, that's the advisor. Maybe the advisor hasn't. But he said that the advisor says he's never spoken or talking to him. Interesting. It's crazy because this all has to do with Donald Trump. Now, Trump ally Bob Costello takes credit for grand jury timeout. As you guys know, like, pretty much it essentially got pushed back is what happened. So that's what I think they mean by this timeout here. And by getting pushed back, Donald Trump wasn't arrested. You know, court was held. And, you know, all the people that went out there to rally were probably like, all right, let me go and get my jacket because I'm going to have to come back another day because they're going to have to come back another day. I knew this wasn't really going to pop off like that. I was like, maybe it'll pop off. But I knew it really wasn't going to pop off like that because Trump rallied his troops. He told them to come at a specific date. They were worried about it the day before. So it was like, if you already know that basically there's going to be a problem, everything like that, we don't know. There could be violence. There could be Trump fans versus, you know what I'm saying, everybody else. Trump fans versus the world. You know what I'm saying? It could get violent. It could have been a bad situation. So I think it was just smarter. And everyone knew that, you know what I'm saying, it probably wasn't the best time. So I just think, like, if I was in charge, I would definitely be like, guys, we're going to just figure out, we're going to get with Trump's office. If we want to pick him up and arrest him, we're going to just do this kind of privately and everything like that. We're not going to let him control the narrative. We're going to control the narrative. That way, when we're trying to pick him up, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, there aren't, you know, people rioting in the streets, breaking businesses, you know, destroying cars, storming the White House. Let's not forget the last time Trump called people to rally, they stormed our White House. I still don't know why that's not such a big deal to people, but hey, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just storm the capital of one of the, if not the largest, essentially, or more, one of the most powerful nations in the world. You know what I'm saying? The citizens just stormed the capital with little repercussions. I mean, like 1,000 people got arrested, but you guys know what I mean. Still, like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Now, it says, let's see here. Let's see. Trump ally Robert Costello says he believes his testimony trying to discredit Michael Cohen to a grand jury earlier this week. Oh, okay. So he was doing it earlier this week. Led Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg to tell the panel's members to take the day off. He said prosecutors must now decide whether they want to rely on Cohen's testimony in seeking an indictment against Trump. The case rests on whether the Trump organization improperly classified a payment to Cohen as a legal expense. It was a reimbursement for a $130K check, you know, which, you know, he gave Peace star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election to stay quiet about a sexual encounter she had with Trump in 2006. So this encounter was actually in 2006. And it says that the Trump organization essentially classified this payment to her as a payment to Cohen as a legal expense when really that money was given to Stormy Daniels. Which is interesting because it's like, Stormy Daniels, you coming out here and you was allegedly got paid $100,000 under the table that you probably didn't have to pay no taxes on or nothing. But I guess, I don't know, maybe it'll say something as to why she hates him so much. She probably felt like she didn't get paid enough. Probably. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just an ugly situation. Very unprofessional. Like, why do we... Our nation is just embarrassing at this point. Like, come on. Now it says, unless Bragg and prosecutors are motivated by political prejudice, I think the DA now has to call out a timeout and decide if they can go forward with this case and its witness. If prosecutors are reasonable and honest based on my testimony and press conference comments, they should be having second thoughts about moving forward. I think I threw a wrench in their monkey works. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, it says Costello told reporters after his testimony that Cohen on his own made a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels before the 2016 presidential election. So he's saying, like, you know, maybe it wasn't even Donald Trump that was out here being nasty. He's saying maybe it was Cohen himself who was out here being nasty. Now, he said he is totally unreliable, who said that under oath he paid Daniels in at the behest of Trump. He said Monday night scoffed at Costello's claims, telling MSNB host Ari Melber so many things he said were untrue. The NBC reported prosecutors from Bragg's office were very upset about Cohen's interview, and they contacted his lawyer, Lanny Davis, to have him tell Cohen he should not appear on TV. Not appear on TV anymore. So he can't appear on TV anymore. So they're bringing the grand jury back Thursday after the day off that we spoke about earlier. Now, it says the Manhattan District Attorney's Office on Thursday plans to bring back the grand jury that will consider whether to indict Trump. So, you know what I'm saying? They off today. They off on Wednesday. But Thursday is back. Thursday we see if Trump going to jail or not. like gosh, it's like the United States, like, I feel like I said, like, I feel like this is like a bad girls club. It's like bad politicians club. Like, what is this? Like, let's see if our president's going to jail. Like, I don't want to be having to say that, but I got to say that, you know? Now, it says the plan was to close by sources hours after grand jurors were unexpectedly given the day off for reasons that were not clear. Right, they saw those protesters outside and they were like, nope. They were like, today is not the day. We do not need another storming of the Capitol because Donald Trump's getting arrested. We saw what happened last time. We're going to schedule this for another day. We're going to speak to his representatives in private, and we're going to handle this in a professional manner where they're on a whole bunch of people with picket signs and American flags on as capes with a shirt off walking through these Manhattan streets. You know what I'm saying? Now, it says the panel can convene on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, but prosecutors are not required to hold sessions on those days. The grand jury heard testimony on Monday from Bob Costello, you know, who we just spoke about. He was the legal advisor, as we know, to Michael Cohen, the fixer for Trump. As we know. Now, here's the last thing. Let's see what it says. Oh, this is pretty much a summary of that and everything like that. Basically talking about the money. So this is pretty much what's going on. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens tomorrow and everything like that. Now, we also know DeSantis had a little bit to say. So let's just take a little time and check out what's going on with this. We can see here's our boy Donald Trump. If you guys don't know, DeSantis is Trump's you know, he's basically not Trump's. He's the Republican Party's basically the second person that will be running for president. He is a senator, or you know what I'm saying, the governor of Florida and everything like that. And if Trump does not win, or if Trump ends up in prison, then DeSantis will be that guy. So let's see what's going on with this, and let's see what he had to say in his defense of Trump. You know, he probably wanted to kind of be like defenseful of Trump, you know what I'm saying, and show his support and not kind of anger the Trump fans while not giving him too much credit, because, you know, if it does come down between them two, he probably wants to win. He does want to win, but he hasn't ran yet. But you guys know, like, hey, if all the people think you're that guy for president, you got to step up, and that's probably what's going to happen. Let's see what it says, though.
Jonathan Turley and even President Trump said that the statute of limitations has expired on this. It happened, 7 years ago? Robert Costello, who once worked as a legal advisor to the star witness, Michael Cohen, also a very prominent lawyer, former U.S. attorney. He did appear in front of the grand jury, and he said, I did tell them this. They didn't want to hear it, but I did tell them. Michael Cohen called me and said, I need to talk to you. He said he's been very suicidal. He was worried about him. He said, I don't want to go to jail. I'll do anything. I don't want to go to jail. He said, well, what do you have on Donald Trump? And he said, I really don't have anything. He said he continuously told him, I don't have anything. So he's wondering why now all of a sudden does he have something on him?
Right. I would say this is a total joke. If he decides to indict a president for the first time in our 230-plus year history, it is a total farce.
As it turns out, the president would...
Why? Why is that a total farce? I want to know why. Don't just say it's a total farce. basically the why he had was because he's a president and because it's been a long time. Do presidents not commit crimes? Are presidents no longer allowed to get arrested? Like, are they immune from crimes or something? I need more. I need more from you. We need answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. You got to come with something stronger than that for us.
Would not be the first president ever arrested, because we read this morning that Ulysses S. Grant was once arrested for riding a horse too fast in Washington.
Was he had no PPA cards to get him out of it? I'm
so
surprised. Because I would have definitely flashed.
This man was riding a horse too fast.
This is a big story. Piers Morgan, our friend, got a great exclusive yesterday with Ron DeSantis. And what he does, I'm just going to read the headline. Ron hits Don. He criticizes the president's chaos, lack of character, and Piers started by asking about, the soundbite we played yesterday of Ron DeSantis talking about Donald Trump and his...
I'll remember that chapter of my life forever. We laughed.
Our girl Flo.
We protected that progressive home and auto bundle day and night. We left our blood, sweat, and tears on that yard. Okay. Well, Jamie did anyway.
You've seen me in countless TV shows and movies.
This reminds me of like Wolf of Wall Street, like where he was dancing. That scene where he was dancing.
What is my name?
He was killing it. He was killing it. He was like.
Aren't you in probably what people?
Y'all know what I'm talking about? He was killing it. Like.
Legal problems, and that is where Piers started and got Mr. DeSantis talking about the former president.
You did a press conference this morning and you were responding to the reports, rumors of Donald Trump potentially being indicted. And you gave an interesting response, very sort of supportive of him in a way by saying, yeah, I think what's happening there is outrageous. It's political posturing by the SDA and so on in New York, and they should be focused on more important things.
Piers Morgan.
You didn't have any knowledge of
funny guy.
Hush money being paid to porn stars. Was I right to feel that there was a slightly censorious tone to that kind of thing is just not anything you would ever get involved with?
Well, I think there's a lot of speculation about what the underlying conduct is. That is purported to be it. And, the reality is that's just outside my wheelhouse. I mean, that's just not something that I can speak to. So, I hope it doesn't come to where you end up seeing this going forward. I mean, look, if you are a very strident prosecutor, and this guy's on the left, and you're not prosecuting a lot of crimes, Manhattan's gotten less safe, you're going to go after somebody on the other side for some novel offense. That just does not inspire confidence, and people see that as weaponizing the justice system. So I think it's fundamentally wrong to do that, and I just made it be known. But we'll see. Maybe it won't.
So I think that there's a deeper meaning to really get from this. Yes, it's about Trump. Yes, somebody was probably grabbing some booty and paying off hush money. I think this really comes, like he said, about about what we're seeing here is possibly there's two sides of it. I think there's either you hold Donald Trump accountable, no one can hide from the law. It doesn't matter if you're president, if you were president, if you're running for president and everything like that. Now it's just your time. And there's also that side that's like, this is them using the law or them using, their police power, I guess, judicial power to kind of, hurt the Republican Party or kind of, get rid of Donald Trump. Almost like using, this as a form of political power against the Republican Party and everything like that. So it kind of comes to that type of thing. That type of balance, which is, I think, a very interesting thing to way to think about it.
It won't come to that. I mean, we haven't seen anything firm yet.
Piers asked him about his nicknames, and he said, you can call me anything. Just make sure you call me a winner. Look what I've done down in Florida.
It sounded like he preferred DeSanctimonious, though. He said it has a lot of vowels. It's hard to spell, but just to
I really don't know what it means.
Yeah, I don't know what it means, but just don't say I'm not a winner.
So what's very interesting is People have said, speculated on the side, if he waits 2 months for his legislative session to be over, Donald Trump could imprint him in any way he wanted. With these nicknames are not answered, if the attacks are not countered, by the time he decides the legislative session's done and I'm going to be a candidate and it looks like a fait accompli, it might be too late. And I think that's what it seems to have emerged yesterday, because he could have ducked that questions like he's ducked others, but he dug in. And he dug in again, too, because he said, look, I know I could beat Joe Biden, and that should be the focus. Listen.
You could beat Biden?
I think so.
So you're running then?
No, I didn't say that. I just said I think I could. I mean, I think that's. I mean, if you look at Florida,
who would be harder to beat, Biden or Donald Trump?
I don't know.
Keep in mind, he hasn't gotten in the race yet, and I think from
Probably
a Republican standpoint, when you talk to Republicans, they don't like the
Biden
the
in
fighting.
sleep.
Infighting.
Like,
They know
ready to
it's gonna
sleep.
happen. They know, primaries right around the corner.
Imagine
They're gonna have
Biden
lot
in
of
a
people that
debate
jump in
right
this
now.
race, and that's
That would
what's
be
gonna happen.
embarrassing.
But I think he was very measured.
Imagine
He wanted to
Biden
get
in
the
a
point across that I
2024
don't have
presidential
experience
debate.
with
We still got a little
porn
time,
stars.
too. You're going to get a little
So that was a dig.
older.
But they've been digging back and forth on social media. But I think overall, it was more like what you said, Brian. It was more overall, I can beat Biden.
Yeah,
Right,
I don't know if I can keep my powder dry much longer.
Well, here's the thing, and DeSantis has a plan, and we all know he's going to run. But what he said is he's going to wait, and he said it on this program as well.
We
He'll
all
wait for
know
the
this man
conclusion
is
of
going
the
to run.
legislative session
That's when
down
he
in
has more
Florida.
power and he can veto.
Especially, like, look at what Trump's going through right now.
Because
This
he's
man's
already
definitely
got
going to
one
run.
thing
This man Trump going to be in jail.
And that is, hey,
he probably not going to be
I was
in jail.
reelected
But
by
you know what I'm
20
saying.
That is big. And he's going to go forward with that. But then he's going to say, look, once he declares, he's going to say, look what we did in Florida. We were able to do this, 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 and this. And I know that a lot of people across the country would like us to do that for America. And that is why I'm running for president of the United States. He wants more of a record that he can run on as president. He's going to keep his powder dry until then. But clearly, he's going to give
Yeah, he
Donald
may not
Trump a
want to
run
be
for the money.
paying no
Well, Chris
P stars,
Rock
no
and
hush
Elon Musk
money.
and a few others
That'll
said
keep
that they
him
think
there.
This indictment will backfire on him. Do you think people,
As
who are
long as he
Republicans
doesn't
and
mess
supported
up
him
presidency,
before
should
are
be
sick of
his.
this?
Well, Trump, I think, was
Will help
brilliant to
him?
come out over the weekend and say, look, this is probably, the legal people probably say, listen, this is going to happen. He goes, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm going to get on the offense. I'm getting in front of it. I'm going to put them on defensive. I'm going to make them have emergency meetings on a Sunday. I want to let I want that grand jury to feel the pressure. And then Bob Costello,
I think that's
going
what
in there
happened,
speaking
too.
and saying, catching Mike Cohen again lying about releasing him from his attorney-client privilege. He goes, are you kidding me? You just...
I think, guys, now that we have a look at this into the future, I think we can kind of determine that this was low-key a Trump W. Like, this was definitely a Trump W. Because I do kind of feel what he's saying, even though this guy's kind of annoying. Like, basically, Trump was probably going to go to jail. Like, he was probably going to go to jail until he hopped on Twitter and said, hey, guys, I'm going to be going to jail. I'm going to be getting arrested on Tuesday. And then that started all types of problems. Then they had to worry about, oh, man, like the safety of the people. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. And then all of these other facts had to start getting thrown in the mix. The media started getting into it more and everything like that. It started making a way more sticky situation. And what's happening? Trump's not in jail. Because let's keep it real here. Trump is used to that silver spoon. Like he's a tough guy, but he ain't trying to go to jail. Trust me. And he ain't trying to go to jail.
Lied about it again, and that's who you're depending it on. And when Van Jones of CNN comes out and says, I'm pretty sure he should rethink this, I think they understand what's going on here. Look at this poll. It's a tracking poll, Morning Consult tracking poll, but it's significant. Trump up by almost double on DeSantis. Everybody else in single digits, including Vivek Ramaswamy, and most of those people aren't even in yet. Tim Scott not in yet. Pompeo not in yet.
So Trump will win if
obviously DeSantis.
Yeah,
not in.
only three.
If he runs, if he doesn't, DeSantis
so
definitely.
Here's what's
that.
happening. We don't know whether or not Donald Trump's going to get indicted today or not. But one of the things we've seen is with his Truth Social all cap stuff, and as Mark Meredith depicted it a moment ago, it's nonstop. It's reminding a lot of people, particularly the independents, about things that Donald Trump did when he was president of the United States. They liked his policy. They just didn't like that angle. And the chaos is coming back, and you got to figure that will take a toll somehow on polling.
Yeah, but then also you look at what's happening, and are they using politics to interfere in this election. You know, he's running in 2024.
Well, it's the state people. It's not the feds. It's the state guy.
Well, Pierce's
He's got a lot on
interview,
the
you can
line.
catch it. It drops tomorrow on Fox Nation. It's Pierce Morgan Uncensored if you want to see the full run.
All right, so guys, definitely check out that whole interview if you guys want to check out that. I think it's very interesting. I think there's a lot here. Like I said, I think it was a very good move by Trump, especially if he thought he was actually going to be arrested on Tuesday. You know, to come out and say, hey guys, you know, rally, like, you know what I'm saying? Because no one wants conflict from this. Everything like that. That's going to make everything look bad. He made the whole situation a lot more complicated with that. I guess not a tweet, but a truth social. I don't know what they would call it. He sent out a truth. Like, is that what he did? He sent out a truth. But yeah, I think that was a very smart move. And I think this really, what I want to know from you guys in the comments and everything like that is, do you guys think this is Trump actually being held accountable for something that he did in the past? Or do you think this is a political play to get Trump off of the Republican candidacy? Because if he is, he probably will beat Joe Biden because Joe Biden be sleep. That's what I want to know. Like, which side are you guys? How you guys feel about that? Obviously, be respectful in the comments and everything like that. It's been a great stream, guys. I've had a really good time with you guys. I'm definitely going to be back on tomorrow. I've just been getting used to this, and you guys have been getting used to it for me. I appreciate everybody who popped in and everything like that. And I hope you guys all have an amazing day.